like I did, not rich. Don't be so happy about it.
We borrowed for everything. Want a new couch? Go finance it. Want a new TV? Go finance it.
We had personal loans, student loans.
We were just doing what was normal.
It's called staying in debt. What a great idea for a bank.
I was so sick and tired of being where we were at.
I was living paycheck to paycheck.
You just stayed right in the lane where they wanted you. People change their lives when they get sick and tired of being sick and tired, and they finally say, that's it, I've had it.
What I love about this plan is it gives you a clear path.
This is a wealth building plan. It's not just a get out of debt plan.
A budget is simply a plan for your money.
You deal with the money stuff, and all of a sudden, you find freedom and connection everywhere.
I feel like I can do more things than I ever could.
You can go from where you are to where you want to be. You're free.
You just got to get started.
Howdy, folks. You got to come check out the second wind class. 55 and above for high speed. See us on Wednesday. Hang on, Bets.
Hi, I'm John Bevere, author of The Bait of Satan. Now you may be thinking, what would be the bait of Satan? Well, it's one word. It's called being offended. You know, Jesus made this statement, remarkable statement, Luke 17 verse 1. He said, it is impossible that offenses should not come. What Jesus is basically saying there is if you breathe air, you drink water, you are going to have the opportunity to be offended. But what you do with that offense determines your future. Either you're going to become stronger or you're going to become bitter. Now, the Greek word there in Luke 17:1 for offense is actually an ancient Greek word that was originally used to describe the bait stick of a trap that hunters would use to catch small animals and birds in. The word is actually a scandalon. And what the hunters would do is they would put the bait on the scandalon, and the animal would take it, and the trap would either close and kill the animal or capture it. Thereby, an offense is the bait of Satan to pull a person into his captivity.
But I started writing that study because I was going through a dry time in my life with my prayer life. I was beginning to feel that life was so busy, and I was going through the motions of praying. I was meeting with the Lord. I was saying prayers, but it just felt rote. It felt like I was going through a ritual and missing the relationship and that intimacy with Him that I'd had through my prayers before. And so I began to just cry to God and say, God, what can I do to restore that intimacy with you through prayer? I feel like it's just, something's changed. And as I prayed, God directed me to do a study, or to start looking at prayers of men and women in the Bible. And so one by one, I started looking at these men, these women, these saints, these prophets, these warriors, these kings. And I started looking at why were they praying? What was the situation that they poured their heart out to God? And then what did they ask? I mean, how did they approach God with their prayers? How did God work in their hearts through their prayers? And how did they see God work after their prayers? How did their relationship change? And by doing that, it changed my prayer life. It changed the way I pray. It changed the way I approach God in prayer. And it moved back from just becoming a rote saying words to heartfelt conversation with Him. And so I'm excited to share this study with you. It comes out June 4th. I hope that you will take a look as we look at the prayers of 8 spiritual giants in the Bible with all kinds of different needs and situations. I hope you'll join me and take part in it. Thanks.
What is the essence of parenting? What does God expect of us as parents?
When they arrive, we give thanks to God for their appearing, and the first time that we take them home and put them in that little crib, we cry out to God for His help.
With the birth of our firstborn daughter, I literally had the feeling of wanting to turn her over if I were the instructions. But after we added our 4th, 5th, and 6th child, I got to tell you, I was really desperate for instructions in raising children.
There's going to be so much hardship and heartache that our kids are going to experience.
Unless you've been well parented yourself, you really have very little framework.
The reality is, there is an instruction manual. It's the Bible.
I think most parents in America say, I want my kids to be happy.
And I feel like, oh my gosh, that's not good enough.
I don't want to raise a child like that.
Kingdom values are a different set of values. If you aim for happy, you'll end up in the ditch. If you aim for healthy, they'll end up happy.
If you start out your job knowing how long this kid's going to live, and you keep that in mind at all times, everything changes. And I happen to know how long every kid lives. They live forever. You need to raise your kid with eternity in mind.
Parenting is a marathon. It's not going to be a sprint.
One of the wonderful things about being a parent is you get to discover your child when they're born or when you adopt them.
Newly adopted parents, foster parents, step parents. In the end, you're the best thing that ever happened to them.
And so I, as the one holding the bow with an arrow that is sharpened, will pull that thing back and release it.
When they get older, you have to free them.
We need to be preparing them to leave and leave with success.
No matter what kind of a family you come from, you can be the first of a healthy generation.
Oh my goodness, glory to God, hallelujah. I think I'll shout right now.
Hi, I'm Greg Kokel for Stand to Reason, and you know, for over 25 years, we have been producing materials that help strengthen Christians to be voices for Christ in an ever-changing and challenging culture. What we're trying to do is build ambassadors for Christ with 3 different qualities: knowledge and accurately informed mind, wisdom and artful method, and character and attractive manner. We hope that what you view here is going to help you in that way, because at Stand to Reason, we provide confidence for every Christian, clear thinking for every challenge, and courage and grace for every encounter.